What's up, all you handsome mofos? That's a weird way to start, but that's how we're starting it.
Hi.
Welcome, welcome to the Transitional Champs. It is me, the cripple threat, Ryan Niemiller, former AEW superstar and the third most talented person in all of America, along with, as always, my good buddy, the world's most dangerous man, Gavin Eddings.
Ken Shamrock's here?
Exactly. What if I replaced you with him?
Oh
He just
my,
busted into your room and then put you in an ankle lock.
just belly to bellies me through all of my shit back here.
Exactly. I think it'd be worth it.
Which, yeah, I would be okay with that because he is just a jacked man at the age of 84, I believe.
Yeah. He's an elderly man, and I would not say that to his face because he's a tough hombre.
If he snaps, he's taking my spot.
That is what he's doing. He's snapping your spine, quite frankly. Yeah, we are here. We're recording this on Friday night, right after the Go Home SmackDown, and we are doing a little preview of what we believe is going to happen at the 2021 Royal Rumble.
Yeah, some predictions, if you will. We're going to guess who wins matches because that's what predictions are.
That's what they are. Or who doesn't win matches. We should pick the losers. Just make it really convoluted for no reason. We're the only wrestling YouTube show that predicts exclusively the losers.
So we have to pick 29 people to lose the Royal Rumble.
Yes, exactly.
Oh,
so,
God.
First loser, I believe, is going to be Dolph Ziggler. He is one of It's going to make this like an hour and a half prediction show.
I can't edit another hour and a half show, man. I can't do it.
I know. That was a rough one to start on the editing. This one will hopefully be a little more palatable because we have to get it up before Sunday. Otherwise, these predictions mean nothing. And if we happen to like nail the predictions, it'll make it look like we cheated.
You have the Rumble on in the background as we're making predictions.
Yeah, just right there, sitting there.
I have a good feeling about Carmella.
Carmella. It's an upset pick. Carmella. Well, let's get right to the card. Well, 6 matches on the card as of now.
Mm-hmm.
You know how WWE is, though. They could add 16 more during the pre-show for no reason.
The Lucha House Party is going. I picked Lucha House Party to win in the second dark match.
Yes, there we go. Perfect. So there's 6 matches officially on the card as of now. And keep in mind, we are recording this right after SmackDown on Friday. I know they're doing the WWE backstage where they're announcing who's 1 and 2 in the men's match. And I believe there's a match with Tamina and Natalya to see who's number 30 in the women's match. So I don't think either of us are picking either of them anyway, but know that like if anything crazy happens on Saturday, we are recording previous to that.
Yes.
So that's just as a small caveat here. So let's start with the matches. We'll I'm looking at the Wikipedia. I'm going to go from 6 to 1. We'll go backwards on how they have it listed.
That's what I'm looking at as well. I thought we could go 3 to 4, then to 1.
Then to 1. Then to what we guess will be a dark match. That's added.
So first up is the barn burner. That is Sasha Banks versus Carmella for the WWE SmackDown's Women's Championship. Carmella's kind of come back hot ever since her return. So her being in this match makes a lot of sense. She seems to be much improved in the ring. So this one I'm kind of looking forward to. How do you feel about it?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a good match. For me, I mean, Sasha Banks is winning. I don't think.
Oh yeah.
I don't think we have any kind of disagreement there.
No.
But I like Carmella's new character. Like it started off, I think when she first came back, it was a little generic. It was a little, I'm hot. Like that's basically what it was. Like I'm hot and I take pictures. I didn't even know exactly what it was, but it was just that kind of standard hot chick doing hot. Like that's all it was. Like an Instagram influencer, basically, is what she was.
Yeah.
I've really enjoyed the addition of Reginald. I think it actually adds a lot to the character because he's a pretty athletic dude and he's kind of slimy in a classy way. Like there's something weird about him I like. I don't know what the ceiling is for that gimmick, but like I think it makes her a really good mid-card act right now, which I think the women's division doesn't have a lot of.
I just like seeing sommeliers get time on TV. Like this is my wine holder.
That is true. You are a bougie mofo, so this is finally the character for you.
Finally.
I think it'll be a decent match. I honestly think. I mean, this show is probably going to go 5 hours just because of what they do. My guess is this is going to be the shortest.
Yeah,
I think it'll be pretty harmless. Sasha Banks going into WrestleMania as the champion.
Absolutely.
I think it'll be a pretty good match. Be the end of this feud as then she starts building to whatever the program
Mania.
is for Mania.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Sasha Banks, we're all in on Sasha Banks.
Yep.
All right.
You want to go ahead? Yeah, we'll let you introduce the matches. We have a good thing going. We plan nothing.
I know. Like,
for this.
Okay, so next up, just sticking with the ladies, we have the tag team match, the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship, Asuka and Charlotte Flair versus Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler. And my pick, I think Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler win the titles back. I don't know why they put the belt on Charlotte and Asuka to begin with. The tag team women's championships are just such an afterthought, and some of honestly the most pointless belts WWE has right now. So I don't see why they would keep Charlotte and Asuka champion.
Yeah, like for me, the belts really confused me, especially because like not long after, like I like them as a general idea. I think they have enough good women, especially if they, were on NXT a little bit more. I know the titles technically can float anywhere. Yeah. Like there's some decent like duos for women that are built up there, but like almost immediately after they introduced the belts, okay, let's break up Mandy Rose and why can I never think of her name when I need to?
Sonya Deville,
yes.
Yeah.
Let's just break them up. Let's break up the Iconics. Like they had teams a bit, and then let's just break them up and then put them in random other
and even right
teams
now
for no reason.
Even right now, the belts are such an afterthought because Asuka's got her thing kind of going with Alexa, and Charlotte's got her thing going on with Lacey Evans. So the belts don't matter. Why can we just give it to the Riot Squad, who are a real team? Like I don't know why we're pairing up two singles people who have their own stories going on, but yeah, Shayna, I think Shayna Baszler, Nia Jax get their belts back.
Yeah. So what I kind of think happens, I mean, it was a poor way, I think, to bring Charlotte back, but like Charlotte's going to Charlotte.
Yeah.
That's just what it is.
It's Charlotte. It's that Charlotte time of the year.
Exactly. So, but what I think is going to happen, if I had to guess, I do agree with you. I think Nia and Shayna win the titles back. I think this is, I don't know if it's going to be a full blowout, but I think this is planting the seeds for Asuka and Charlotte at Mania. I think that's the Raw Women's Championship match. I think a lot of the story is going to be, because they've done a little bit, they're doing their own thing, and they've kind of talked a little bit on commentary about, how all these big personalities, and that Charlotte probably wants the, shot the title too, and yada, yada, yada. And they have this history, where Charlotte ended Asuka's undefeated streak and all that. Yeah. So I think it'd be a good match. I don't love Charlotte, but I like her. Like I think she can put on really good matches in big time. So like I'm a little over just because I think they really want her to be like the women's version of Ric Flair. They really want her to be the woman.
Yeah, and they're really doing like the Lady Roman Reigns push, where it's like, you like Charlotte, please like Charlotte, please.
Yeah, please. She's the greatest, isn't she? And and that's no fault of her own because like I said, I enjoy watching her wrestle. Like I think she's good, but. I think that's the plan. So I think there'll be some sort of miscommunication. Like I said, I don't think this is going to be the full, Charlotte turns heel or whatever like that. But I think this is going to kind of be that'll be part of the catalyst of the story going into Mania was, I carried the team or, you blew it, you lost us the titles or whatever it might be.
See, I think she's going to lose via Lacey Evans, Ric Flair distraction.
Possibly.
So, and like they just come out banging each other and she's like, oh, Dad, no. So I think they could do Asuka, Charlotte, but I also think they're building towards Lacey, Charlotte for some reason. So I could see it going either way.
Yeah. For me, I just don't know if they, from everything I've read, apparently this year's Mania, like nothing's really decided.
Well, so, of course,
I mean, which doesn't surprise me for WWE, but like even in past years, they're at least like, okay, we're doing Goldberg and Lesnar. Like they already have that figured out. And then they're like, we'll figure out how to get there. Apparently they have nothing planned, so we could be way off. Yeah. Because I can see that happening too, but I think we both agree that Nia and Shayna leave with the titles.
Yes. All right, next up, the WWE Championship match, Drew McIntyre versus Goldberg. I laugh because it's Goldberg season also. Which, it's weird that they push Goldberg as this WWE legend when he was part of the company that tried to kill them. And now they're like, remember how good Goldberg is?
Yeah. And apparently in his first run, and again, I don't know Goldberg. He does a lot for charity. I'm sure he's a nice enough guy, but like, it's also weird too, that he gets pushed as this because he was also like, from everything I ever understood for like the year he did come to WWE initially, he was like difficult to work with and didn't want to be there. He didn't want to really kind of play the game correctly. And that's a play on words because he was involved with Triple H almost the entire time. But like it seemed like it shocked me. Like, I don't mind, as a concept, I don't mind Goldberg.
Yeah.
I don't mind the legends coming back. And Goldberg is not someone where I'm like, oh, just like on paper, because it was cool during the Monday Night Wars. Like, Goldberg was a really cool part of that. Like,
he was a big part and kept WCW afloat when like the NWO kind of cooled off. It was like the streak.
Yeah. So I don't mind that, but like this honestly, for like all my picks, and it's weird on a show that has 2 Royal Rumble matches, which could go a lot of ways. This is the match I'm most unsure of the result. Because like my instinct is Drew McIntyre's actually had a really good run despite a lot of other weird stuff that WWE's done the last year. They've built him as like a legit star.
Yeah, and
in my eyes.
And they had put him in such a weird that they pigeonholed him as like Dolph Ziggler's bodyguard, goofy friend for a while, and like really didn't take him seriously. But since Rumble last year to this year, they really pushed him as like a main event player, and he's really come to shine. He's very likable. He's got a cool gimmick. He carries a sword to the ring. Like that's cool as hell.
Yeah, his stuff looks good. Like his matches feel big. He's a hard hitting guy. Like he's a great athlete. He's got but like at the same time, like I'm not the biggest fan of him in the world, but like they also seem to have finally rebuilt the Fiend, and then Goldberg crushed him.
I hated
last year for no reason.
I hated that when they were like, he had like this. They could not kill him in a Hell in a Cell match where Seth Rollins had to like beat him with a sledgehammer, but like one shitty jackhammer puts him down in front of the Saudi crowd. Like I don't get it.
Yeah, it's so odd to me. And again, like this is something that has made me unpopular over the years in wrestling circles. And if I've ever been like online talking, like I've always felt that Bray Wyatt is overrated. I think he's good and he's clearly charismatic, but I never quite got why everyone was like, oh, he's that guy. He should be the best. But like, even I was like, what? Like they finally built him to at least be something interesting. Like this is a cool, different thing. And then Goldberg out of nowhere crushes him. And then he didn't even care that he lost afterwards. He didn't try to get a rematch. It didn't seem to break his heart. He was just like, whatever.
Yeah. And see, when they bring Goldberg into like fight like Brock Lesnar, like who gives a shit who wins that hoss fight? Like I want to watch these two dudes ham each other. But when you see him coming in and beating like guys like Kevin Owens or the Fiend, you're like, does Goldberg need to beat Drew McIntyre and have the belt going to Mania again?
I feel that it's a mistake. I'm going to optimistically pick McIntyre to win. But I'm scared for something later that I'll bring up that's kind of associated with this match. We might have the same idea on that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna optimistically pick Drew, but honestly, like it shouldn't be. But this one is probably my coin flip.
Yeah.
Because I could see either way, because like I could see them wanting Goldberg to go into Mania as champ for some reason, and then Drew beats him again there, or Lesnar comes back and whatever they do, like I don't know.
And that's why I'm going to pick Goldberg to win, because as much as I want them to be like Drew McIntyre to win, I just feel like they're going to push Goldberg and give him another title. So I'm picking Goldberg, like, and then that's kind of more of the nihilist in me. Like, of course they're going to give Goldberg a title again. It's between January and March. Well,
because he has to work 2 shows. I think that's what his contract is, right? It's something like that. He does 2 matches at least, and it'd be this Rumble, and he'll be involved in Mania somewhere,
So I'm picking Goldberg, and I hate myself for it.
I hate you for it too, buddy.
All right, next up, we have a match that has a new stipulation. That is the last man standing match for the WWE Universal Championship between the big dog, the tribal chief Roman Reigns, and Kevin Owens, which I really love their TLC match, and I felt like Kevin Owens could have won that. Like, they really made me believe that he was going to win for a little bit, and then it sucked so much when they took it away, and it crushed my hopes. But they've done a really good job of building Kevin Owens as like this baby face against the heel Roman Reigns, and I really like this program. So I'm going to be interested to see how they do it with the last man standing match.
Absolutely, yeah. It's a situation for me that they've done this great job with Roman, just in general. That obviously I I know it's a show, and I know he's a great dad and a wonderful human being. But
Yes.
like they've built him in such a cool way
Yeah.
that like man, like when he's doing the stuff with like Adam Pierce, where you're like, oh, Adam Pierce is about to get murdered. Like it's a
Yeah.
real good, like
Mhm.
uncomfortable feeling because he's so calm. It's like the old Jake Roberts thing a little bit. And I'm not
Yeah.
saying he's the promo that Jake Roberts was or anything like that, but it was that sense of like when everyone else was like, I'm gonna come after you and I'm gonna beat you down. Jake Roberts was always so calm
Yeah.
about like I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna get in your head and I'm gonna destroy your life.
Yeah,
And it's kind of what it feels like with Reigns a little bit. Like he's so calm most of the time about what's happening.
I watch a lot of serial killer documentaries, and I was like, this Roman Reigns is Ted Bundy, where he'll lure you in and be like, come to the head of the table, and then he'll cut your head off. And you're like, where did this come from? What happened?
Yeah, and there's like that sense of like I say this a little jokingly. I don't mean to make light, but it's almost like he kind of has this like abusive partner kind of thing to him, where it's like, I like you. Why are you making me do this to you? Like it's that sense of like in his head, he thinks it's your fault because you made him do this because you didn't show him the proper respect. He doesn't want to murder you, but he has to.
There are some real uncomfortable moments during the Uso feud where he's just like begging him, like, I want to stop doing this. Just give up. And you're like, just give up, Jey Uso. Just
please do.
Just call him the Tribal Chief. Give him his lay and have the Wild Samoans come out and give him his props.
Exactly. Yeah. So I'm really looking forward to this match. It's another thing too, where I feel over the last few months they've really built Kevin Owens back up as well. He was kind of just floundering in the middle of nothing for a long time. I felt they, outside of that first like initial debut program with Cena, I felt minus a couple ups here and there, I felt they kind of really missed the boat on him. And he's revitalized himself. The promo tonight was fantastic.
Yes.
Like it gave me this like at least small belief. Like I'm picking Reigns. I think Reigns retains. I think he's just too good of a champion right now, and this should not be the program he loses. But like Owens' promo tonight at least gave me the, well, I could maybe see that he. What I think is going to happen though, it's around the time that Jimmy Uso should be back from injury.
Okay.
I think the initial prognosis was, early 2021 he would come back. I could see, and Jay's in the Rumble, but I could see Jimmy kind of having, something to do with coming back here and the Usos, and then the family is complete kind of thing for this.
My only concern with this being last man standing is they find so many corny ways to end last man standing matches. So I'm sure like they'll tie his feet to like a cinder block and he can't get up. He can't get to his feet. So that's my only concern of them having like kind of a corny last man stand. Now, if Roman Reigns just like straight up just trucks him and beats him down where he can't get up, I'm okay with that. But the whole, he's going to get duct taped to the ring post and we'll be able to get up again.
Yeah, and I think that's the best way to help Owens keep his momentum as well, because like the whole thing they've been pushing is like Owens has to get up. He's gonna always, no matter what you do to. So like you could make him such a great. I mean, they've already done a good job, I think, but make him such a great sympathetic babyface if his body gives out. Yeah, because he just gets so beat up and he keeps coming up and it's pissing Reigns off, and Reigns can't even fathom that he keeps getting up. I'm with you. I hope they don't have him get fake electrocuted or whatever thing they do.
Jimmy Uso's gonna come back and be tied to his legs. He'd be like, I can't get up, Us. I can't get up.
Or he's gonna come back and get him with a cattle prod.
Yes,
that's what it's gonna be.
The old Goldberg special.
Yeah. So I am picking Reigns, and I think we see some Jimmy Uso back. Is my kind of small prediction.
Yeah,
for bonus points. Yeah, if that happens.
There is no chance the Tribal Chief does not go into Mania with the championship. All right. Next up, we have the Women's Royal Rumble match. And I had one idea of a pick going into tonight, but then they kind of really pushed that idea too much to make me think it's not going to happen. Because
what was that? Please go on. I'm curious.
My instinct was Bayley, to set up Bayley versus Sasha WrestleMania, but then they really pushed like Bayley's gonna win. Bayley could win, and now I'm like, nah, maybe Bayley won't win. So
okay, but I'm going to ask you this because we kind of talked about this a little bit beforehand. Before you tell me who you think your winner is, let's kind of go up the the ladder of things that people are always excited about in Rumbles.
Yes.
So as of right now, only 13 women are officially announced for the Rumble. So we have Nia Jax, Charlotte Flair, Bianca Belair, Bayley, Mandy Rose, Dana Brooke, Peyton Royce, Alexa Bliss, Shayna Baszler, Liv Morgan, Ruby Riott, Tamina, and Natalya. So those are the official, and that's basically, for the most part, the women's roster that's been on TV in any kind of meaningful way over the last few months. So the first thing I want to ask, we'll start with what NXT people, like if you had to name like 2 or 3, like who do you think either if it's a permanent call-up or think that it'll be sort of like when Candice LeRae popped up a couple years ago and that type of thing?
I think I think Shotzi Blackheart makes another Royal Rumble appearance. I think that they probably give Raquel Gonzalez maybe a little bit of something. And I think they would have Candice LeRae come in again because she's been such a huge part. This could be the year that has Io been in the Rumble before?
I honestly don't remember. She might have been in like around that first, maybe 2 years ago. I don't think so, but someone will correct us and probably yell at us later.
But I could see Io also being in it. My only concern about picking any NXT people is I don't know if they're going to allow them because they keep liking to party and catching COVID.
Well, there is that, yes.
So they may want, but in a dream world where everybody can compete, I think it's going to be Shotzi, Raquel Gonzalez, Candice, and Io as far as my NXT picks. What about yourself?
Yeah. For me, I think they almost have to have some NXT women just because I don't know how they fill out 30.
Yeah.
Like that's part of it because main roster wise, the only ones I could think of off the top of my head that are missing are Nikki Cross. And I don't know if she's hurt or what's going on with her. I think she was on the Legends night. She was like hanging out with Tori Wilson during one of those bad sketches back there. And then Billie Kay.
Yeah.
Who has been amazing. She's been one of my favorite things.
I would love to see Billie Kay be the other 17 spots in different mustaches.
Yeah. just a master of disguise. That would actually be fantastic. Yeah. So I think Billie Kay gets in. I think Nikki Cross. But I'm trying to think, is there anyone else on the women's roster that's like officially, maybe Lana? We haven't seen Lana in a while since she got in, like she was murdered by Nia Jackson.
For several, by the coward Jesse James or whatnot.
Exactly.
When they killed her through tables for several weeks. Yeah, there's nobody. I think, there's nobody really. The roster is so small right now. Yeah. For women.
So NXT wise, I think if I had to guess, we see, I think Dakota Kai is going to be a part of it in some way. Candice, I think, is a good pick to be back there again. Raquel, I think, is a great pick as well. The one that I think is going to be in it, and she's actually a small dark horse for me to think is going to win, but I don't think she'll actually win. But I think this is Rhea Ripley's call up.
Okay, you think so?
Yeah. So since the feud with Raquel is over, she kind of put Raquel over as like kind of a parting, as Raquel kind of is going to probably ascend. I'm guessing Raquel holds the title at some point in NXT this year. She might be the one I think takes it from Io actually at some point. But I think Rhea gets pulled up, and then I think another one that could possibly be in there, Mercedes Martinez.
Okay.
Again, not to do anything kind of big run, but I think they put her in there. I could see that. But Rhea is kind of the big one that I think, like, that's the one that I am most sure of
coming up.
If I had to guess now, will be in the Rumble for sure.
That's a good pick. You think any legends are going to make an appearance? You think they'll?
I think they always have something like that. But the thing is weird, especially because they just had like
Legends Night.
Yeah, and then Drew McIntyre's hanging out and then gets COVID right by. So I don't know how many but again, like they've also shown they don't care because Ric Flair's was in a coma for like a month a couple years ago. Ass is hanging out around where he could get sick. So.
Drew McIntyre spit in Ric Flair's mouth with COVID, and he was just like, "Woo!" And
he gave him the ceremonial Scottish tongue kiss of respect that they all do.
They're like, if you're gonna catch it, Rick, you got to catch it from Drew McIntyre. And he's like, "All right."
I don't know why I have this feeling because like it's been weird, and I don't know if anything officially happened to make it like where she doesn't pop up. But like, I feel of like, especially that sort of after Attitude Era women, the only one that I haven't ever seen come back is Victoria. So she's kind of like, I'm going to say like my dark horse of like appearing. I could see that. We usually get a Molly Holly appearance, which I'm always okay with. She was Mighty Molly last year.
Yeah, she was just on Legends Night, wasn't she?
I think so.
Yeah,
I think so for
that.
that.
It's like, remember Molly Holly?
I can see Tori Wilson because she was just there as well. So I could see there. There'll have to be some legends. I don't know how they fill it out. Another person I think could come back, and this is going to be me sounding like a dude who just doesn't know much about women, but I could see Becky Lynch. I mean, she just had the baby like early December. So it just depends on what shape she's been able to get in. Cause like, obviously you can't train the same way when you're pregnant and then right after a baby, you can't train the same way.
Why not, dude? Why not?
So it might be a little early for her. And then the one that scares me, I could also see Ronda Rousey being back now.
Oh God.
And I can also see Rousey winning if they bring her back too. Like that's the other thing that's a little gross.
If Ronda Rousey comes back though, and I thought about Becky Lynch, like she runs down to the ring with her child and a baby Bjorn, just like like she runs down and like, I guess I gotta compete, taking bumps with her baby. Like gotta bring up.
She is the man.
Yeah, I think it's too soon for Becky Lynch, but God, if Ronda comes back, I just don't want to read like her kayfabe killing Twitter again and be like, I'm not sticking to the script. Like, God damn it, Ronda. Like we know it's not real, but when you say the script, it's like,
you're killing me.
So,
I was going to ask, who's your pick? Who do you think is actually going to win?
I still want to say Bayley because I think the money match is going to be Bayley and Sasha. But if they don't do Bayley, then I think they're going to do Alexa. I think spooky fireball throwing Hadouken Alexa is going to win.
See, I was all picked 2 weeks ago. I was all set to say Alexa because after they built all this stuff with like Asuka and like when they were starting that program there, I was convinced like, okay, I think it's going to be Alexa. And then they had the title match on Raw the next week. And that was basically just part of pushing the story forward of Randy Orton and that. So honestly, I think Alexa gets back into that area of, being the top program later this year. I think going into Mania, she's part of the Orton Wyatt story. I think that keeps going on. So I'm not calling Alexa. My pick, Bayley's a good one. Bayley's like my two, basically. But I think they're doing Bianca Belair. I think they've built her this year. I think if Belair wins, I think they have her come from position 7. I think she does like a marathon thing. At the very least, she's my prediction for the Iron Woman. I think she's in there the longest. But I think, and you don't even need like a great, like it doesn't have to be a clear heel face story. I think Belair and Sasha are both kind of know how good they are, cocky athletes, even if they're face or heel. So I think that's the story. It's basically who's the boss. Tony Danza will be the guest ref. It's going to be a fantastic match.
God, you take my money. And Bianca Belair deserves to win just for squatting Otis.
That's true. I almost won the Rumble one year, but I couldn't squat Otis.
That's one of the preliminary challenges you have to do.
Yes.
All right, so I'm taking Alexa or Bayley, and you're taking Bianca Belair or Bayley?
Yes.
Okay, safe bets here. So, of course, Dana Brooke will win the Rumble.
She'll cartwheel her way out of every elimination.
I hope so. All right, and now the main event.
Which probably won't be the main event, but they'll probably start the show with it. But
they'll start with the men. You think they'll start with the men's Rumble?
I think they did a couple years ago.
They did, didn't they?
Because they made evented with the women's. I think it was the first year of the women's one. So that Asuka winning was the end of that one, and they kicked it off with the men's.
Okay, so men's Royal Rumble. We got some participants in here. This feels like, unlike the Royal Rumble 1993, there are a bunch of people that could realistically win. And going into SmackDown tonight, they were pushing a few people, and SmackDown did the same thing that they did for the Women's Rumble, where I was like, it's Daniel Bryan's year. And then they come out with Daniel Bryan in a promo being like, it's my year. And I was like, well, I don't know. I don't know now.
So let's go over who's officially been announced first, again, as of Friday night after SmackDown. So we have 20 officially For me, I think it's essentially 21. They just
Mhm.
haven't officially said them yet. But so we have Daniel Bryan, Bobby Lashley, AJ Styles, Randy Orton, Otis, The Miz, Jey Uso, Cesaro, Jeff Hardy, Sami Zayn, Dolph Ziggler, Shinsuke Nakamura, Big E, John Morrison, Sheamus, Mustafa Ali, Edge, and then tonight announced officially was King Corbin, Rey Mysterio, Dominic Mysterio, and based on the angle they did at the end of SmackDown, Braun Strowman is more or less in it. Honestly, I was all set. I had in my notes that Braun Strowman was going to be a surprise entrant.
I did too.
And
I
then
was
they
like,
brought him
why,
back for this.
Why? Why'd they bring him? Like, why not just wait till Sunday? It's 2 days away.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure, but it is what it is. So I think those 21 are in. Mm-hmm. So let's first start. Who are some NXT guys that you think either might be permanent call-ups or might get to do the spots in there?
I think this might be the time when the Undisputed Era actually gets called up, whether it be just Adam Cole making another appearance or maybe even having a guy like Kyle O'Reilly, who's had a really good singles run in NXT lately. Really good work with Finn Balor. I can see Kyle O'Reilly doing it. I think Johnny Gargano with the Gargano way. If Candice is going to do the Women's Rumble, I could see that. I could definitely see Johnny being in that. And then I could really see Dexter Lumis. I think would be a weird one. Just he comes out as his scary person,
just doing creepy stuff. He like comes out with a picture of him eliminating the Miz or something like that.
Yeah, and then lastly, I think Damian Priest makes his debut.
Yeah, I think Damian Priest is being called up again. He got pretty soundly defeated by Karrion Kross. So I think that's done. I don't know what else he does right now in NXT. I could see Priest being the next call up who's in this match for sure. He was one of mine.
Okay, so who do you think's coming up besides Damian Priest?
Again, I don't think Priest is the only one in my head that I could see being an actual call up. Like he's going to be up now. I think you always get a weird one.
Yeah,
you always get someone weird. So like I could see like Bronson Reed. Coming up, them kind of just like, oh, he's a big dude and he's this big badass from NXT, and again, not winning but having a little bit of a run. Maybe doing a little something where because he has basically the same body shape as Otis, or where they have some kind of collision, some kind of big man,
and they have the cool Dragon Ball Z shockwave that levels the Thunderdome.
exactly. So I can see Bronson Reed, Damian Priest. You might not be wrong with. I think the Undisputed Era is a post-Mania call-up.
Okay.
Because I still think they have part of the story to finish with like Kyle O'Reilly and Finn Balor and like all that. So I think they're done after whatever the takeover is for Mania, whatever their program is for that. I think that's the end of them. So I could see Adam Cole being in it.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's his time up yet. I'm trying to think because again they always do someone weird. So it'll be like
Cameron
Joaquin
Grimes?
Wild, or I can see Cameron Grimes. Like there's some. I'm trying to think of who they might want to like try to put. I could see them putting one of the just as a small little thing in there. One of the NXT India people. I can maybe see something like that. Just as a quick, again, not they're going to make a serious run, but like. They really want that market, and I don't know if you watched the Superstar Spectacle this week. That was kind of like the first little preview. Some of it was okay. I really like Indashir.
Okay.
So it's a tag team that like they're basically built like the Viking Raiders, but Indian. but like of everyone that was on there, they looked like they knew the most of what was going on, and they look like they could beat your ass.
Okay, cool.
But one of them, Rinku, you might remember this as a baseball fan. When they made the big deal of the first Indian-born player getting signed to the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Oh, yeah.
He's one of them. So Rinku was the guy that got signed. And it's a really weird thing. That's getting inside the point because I don't think either of them are in it. But I could see one of the NXT India people being in there. And with what they're pushing now, and I don't know if they'll do it in time because it looks like they're trying to do a reveal. It looks like they're having all of Imperium come to NXT proper. Because they just did something with, Imperium, what is it? Fabian Archer, and I can never think of the other dude's name. Marcel Barthel.
Yeah.
So they did a thing where Alexander Wolf came back because they'd all been like separated where everyone lived because of COVID, so people couldn't travel the same way.
Yeah.
And now they did a promo this last week of like, okay, the team's coming together. So I could see this is kind of probably a long shot. I would love to see Walter
Yeah, I think
in the
we'll
Rumble.
coming. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that'd be cool. Just watch him slap people. Watch him slap Otis.
Slap Otis in his belly.
Oh yeah.
Oh, he's like, oh yeah, steaks and weights, steaks and weights.
Now I'm aroused.
Okay, legends. Who do you think might get an appearance there?
Well, Goldberg's fighting for the title, so we can't say Goldberg.
Yeah. I'm so scared that they're gonna do an angle where he loses to Drew McIntyre,
Oh God,
but then joins the Rumble.
Don't you put
and
that
wins the Rumble so that they can get the match with Reigns that didn't get to happen last year. I am so scared. That's like one of my dark horse predictions for the Rumble. It's not what I'm going with, but I'm so scared that's gonna happen.
Oh God, don't put that evil out into the world. Don't even suggest it.
Yeah, so we'll call this part here. This is legends or returns or surprise comedy ones. Whatever they do.
I think this is when the Fiend comes back. I think the Fiend's coming back for the Rumble.
I'm with you. I think the Fiend comes back. I don't think he's in the Rumble. Mm-hmm. I think he just causes Orton to get eliminated, probably by Edge.
Okay.
But I do agree Fiend's coming back at the Rumble. I don't think he is a participant in the Rumble. I don't think they're going to do something where he has to get eliminated or something then after. I think he just comes and screws with Orton.
Yes. Okay, fair enough. Yeah. I think the Fiend's coming back. As far as legends go, like who do we see on Legends Night? And then we'll just have Ron Simmons show up.
Yeah, I can see Tatanka. Like Tatanka's one of mine because there. the one that I'm calling, I think Booker T participates because Bad Bunny's going to be there.
I know you're a huge Bad Bunny fan. I
am a huge. I am the baddest of Bad Bunny fans. So
I was like, is that Allie from AEW? Is that her band?
That is who it is. Yeah. So I feel pretty good about Booker T.
Yeah,
doing a little thing in there. Well, they're in Florida, so I'm trying to think of who else might be.
Chris Jericho.
Around. They want to do it. Yes.
I see. It's so hard in this year where like the travel restrictions and COVID is still like a thing. Like, who can they allow to be there?
Exactly. I could see Carlito. I know they had been talking to him. There was some miscommunication where he couldn't make Legends Night. It just didn't get full there. So, but I could see Carlito being kind of like the MVP spot because they usually seem to get somebody who's there, and then it's like, oh, now MVP is still here. Mm-hmm. Yeah. like last year, I was so confused at first. It was cool to see MVP, and I'm like, why the hell is he still here? And then he became one of the best parts of Raw.
Hurt Business is so good.
Yeah, it's so good. So I was very pleased to have been really wrong about how stupid that felt at first. And then it became amazing. So
even the crowd last year was like, MVP? Huh?
Yeah, he was cool in the Rumble. He got the Rumble pop. He got cool. But then now he's wrestling a match on Raw for some reason. And now he's here a month later wrestling a match on Raw. And then he was like managing Brendan Fink and like some weird tag team that didn't get pulled up before he did the Hurt Business.
Oh man.
So I would say Carlito, I feel might be someone that could be in there.
Okay.
And then Ryback. No, not at all. Not at all, Ryback. That's not happening.
Is Ryback there just to collide with Bronson Reed and cause an even bigger explosion?
Exactly.
It will kill the rest of the people who are not killed during the initial shockwave.
Yeah. The one that I will say that I feel pretty confident is not going to be there because every year everyone seems to make this story is that CM Punk will not be in the Royal Rumble. That is my guess.
This is the year. I don't know if you saw this piece of paper I had written, but it says CM Punk. Let me write it real quick so I could.
I'm not the biggest Punk fan in the world at this point. I'm over it.
See, I wrote that.
Nice. Yeah. I'm generally over Punk as like a thing at this point. Mm-hmm. But I would be very pleased to be wrong. It would be cool, even if I'm not like the biggest Punk fan anymore.
Yeah,
I would be happy to be wrong on that. But I don't think it's gonna happen.
I could see him being because Punk is a notorious asshole. He's one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. I think he's a great worker. But I could see him making his comeback at a Rumble where there's no fucking fans.
Yeah,
just like really. Yeah,
that would be. I could see it, and then do a match at Mania, and then disappear before fans are really allowed back at all. You know what? I'm putting it back in the universe. Punk will be in the Rumble. This is gonna happen.
Or he just shows up on the Thunderdome screen and
or his music plays and it's Charlie Haas as CM Punk.
Why Charlie? Why would
Because Charlie Haas did the gimmick for a little while a few years back, where he basically did the Mr. Perfect gimmick, and like he was like Stone Cold Charlie Haas. He was basically doing the clone gimmick where he did that. So
okay,
all right. Now to the big part. Who do we think is going to win? Like, who do you think is the winner? And any like dark horse picks? I have 2 dark horse picks, and who I think is going to win.
Okay, so one of my dark horse picks is Keith Lee.
Okay. It's weird that he's kind of not been around since that first Raw. I don't think he's been on Raw the last couple of weeks since the match with McIntyre.
Yeah, he's been there for a minute. I think Keith Lee could win. Also, based on, let me see the Rumble participants again. I think in a weird, I could see Big E maybe because I really like Big E.
See, I did want to mention this because like I love Big E and love what they're doing with him. He would be my pick today to win the 2022 Battle Royal. Yeah, he is my guy. As long as you know, a lot can happen in a year. As long as there's no like injuries or anything crazy. I think he wins next year.
Yeah. And then my real pick, I think it was originally Daniel Bryan, but that makes too much sense. They really hyped it. I think AJ Styles wins the Royal Rumble this year.
Okay. Yeah. I think Styles has a good run, especially since he's been doing this gatekeeper of the Rumble thing for people not getting in because they couldn't beat him. So I could see him, having a really good run. So I have 2 dark horse picks. One I'm okay with. It's not exactly exciting, but I think it makes sense story-wise. One I would hate, and then who I think is actually going to win. So the one that I would hate, I it's hard to get like out of the pit of my stomach. I mentioned the Goldberg thing. I think
saying it.
I think there's a possibility of that. I also could see Lesnar coming back. And then like they do like an angle where he wins, and then it's like this situation where it's like, who's Paul Heyman gonna side? Like what, whatever.
Oh God.
Again, I'm not like if you want to believe this, there was a report recently about they were considering a finish that basically scared everyone on creative that they would hate it, that everyone would hate it, and either Goldberg winning or Lesnar winning, I think would qualify. I don't think he would win, but another person I think, and I forgot to mention this, we were talking about returns. I think Seth Rollins is in this Rumble.
Oh, that's a good pick.
If we can't get Becky Lynch, I don't think he would win. I think whatever they would set up for his Mania program would start there.
It'll be Seth Rollins with him and the Baby Bjorn. It'll be
exactly okay. Or both. They passed the Baby Bjorn. It's weird.
Do you know how devastating a Phoenix Splash is with a Baby Bjorn? It's like it's like when D'Lo Brown had the chest protector.
Exactly. Yeah, and you do a story where it's like, well, he's got that extra 10 pounds of baby that causes to be so much more devastating.
The humanity.
So my dark horse pick, and again, this is the one that I'm not excited about, but like I would be okay with because at least it makes sense. I could see Sheamus winning.
Okay, they're pushing him real hard right now.
Yeah, and they've kind of built the thing where he's kind of Drew's buddy. Like they're friends and they respect each other. But Sheamus tried to win a title shot when he had the match with Keith Lee, and like he had all that stuff. So like, I don't know if that screams Mania match to me. And I like Sheamus. I'm kind of in the minority of a lot of internet people where I actually
he's fine.
I like Sheamus. I don't know if that's the Mania match. I honestly thought Sheamus was going to be the Rumble match for Drew before they did the Goldberg thing. I thought that was going to be the case. So I could see Sheamus as like a dark horse pick. People would hate it, like internet wise. But I could see that it would make sense. Then you could still do whatever you want with like Reigns Goldberg if they really want to do that.
Yeah.
But my pick, even with what they did today, I still want to go Daniel Bryan.
Okay.
There was the rumor that it was supposed to be Reigns and Bryan into Rumble. I could see them kind of pushing the story, especially with, Bryan basically coming out and saying this is probably his last year as a full-time wrestler, as far as like, doing all the towns and doing everything. So I could see them doing one kind of last hurrah. I think they've built the story well. It's WWE, so they might be doing that swerve thing where they're like, oh, he really needs to win this, so he loses it and gets eliminated by King Corbin or someone ridiculous for no reason. But I'm still in my gut. Sometimes the obvious pick is the right pick, especially with the Rumble. Rumble seems to be the one more often than not over the years the clear favorite has won.
Yes.
So so I'm going to say, if I had to officially pick, Daniel Bryan.
Okay, that's a solid pick, and we will find out who's right this Sunday on the WWE Network or your traditional pay-per-view providers.
Yes.
I'm excited. It's going to be a good Rumble. I'm ready for Rumble season to kick off. I'm ready for it to just get underway and build to a Mania that has some people and a pirate ship at Raymond James Stadium.
Exactly. So I had early considered trying to find tickets for that.
Really?
I don't know if they're going to sell. I don't know how they're selling them.
Mm-hmm.
How it's going to work, because I don't think they've even officially given capacity.
No.
For how many they're going to hold. But like, I think it'll be cool. I mean, are those fans in NXT, or are those like the other wrestlers? Okay, they're actual fans. Because like even that little bit helps a little bit. And then when you watch AEW, when you can sometimes hear them,
it's nice.
Like it does. It reminds you of like, oh yeah. God, because like imagine how cool this year would have been for Drew McIntyre.
Oh yeah,
if he actually had people that he could because like I think we talked about this we've talked about this before, but like Drew McIntyre is someone who like he needs an audience to play off of. Yeah, a lot of his scripted promos feel like he's just remembering lines because like he has no energy to play off of. I think he's someone who needs that. He's just so much more compelling when he's fired up, and I think a crowd would have done great for him. He's still been amazing. Yeah. He's still been fantastic, but just like imagine how cool a lot of this year would have been for him.
Too bad he's losing to Goldberg on Sunday, and he'll never get a title ever again. Back to the mid-card with you once the fans come back.
Then he goes back and teamings with Jinder Mahal.
Oh, God, 3MB, baby, 2MB. All right, Ryan, you want to plug your stuff?
At Cripple Threat 8, as always, please give us a subscribe, a like, a comment. We are a very fresh and new channel, and all that stuff does help. If you have any friends that like wrestling, or friends that might like us, or friends that you hate, and because you hate us, you want them to also hate us, that would be great too.
Friends that have just episodes of AGT on their DVR from last year that they have not watched yet, be like, watch this, then watch this guy crush on America's Got Talent.
Exactly. So please give us all that kind of good stuff. It's been fun to see a few comments from the first video. We're hoping like I said, we're building.
It's doing well. Like
it all helps.
Like the first video is like doing well. People seem to like our chemistry, and I like that they like us.
Exactly. So, yeah. And if you have, if you see this in time, everybody, if you have any predictions for the Rumble, please leave them. In the comments, or any content you want to see from us. Any suggestions, leave that down in the comments as well.
Yeah, and you can follow me at Gavin Eddings on Twitter and Instagram. I also have a horror YouTube channel called Gavin Loves Horror, so check that out. And then, I think we're good. Until next time, we are the Transitional Champs.
See you later, everybody. Enjoy the Rumble.
Enjoy it.